And in this midweek marquee matchups, we got you covered. Welcome to Budweiser Gardens. Welcome to Knockstrom.tv, where we have a doublecade for you tonight. We're in Windsor and we're in London. We're the jack of all trades, and we have you situated. Good evening from London, ladies and gentlemen, my friends. I'm Aaron Sanders, bringing it to you. Now, let's break down these two teams. It's the Cape Breton Highlanders and the London Lightning. We'll talk about the Cape Breton Highlanders first. Now, they have a 9-19 record, something that has been one of their vices lately. They have lost 5 of their last 7, but if you want to see a team that could produce a big upset, this is the team you got to look at. They upsetted the Riptide and they upsetted the Halifax Hurricanes. That was last week, so you got upsets galore when you talk about this team. Clinton Springer, one of the most versatile shooters you'll ever think of. Hank Thorns, who has been a triple-double machine early in the season. Now he's trying to redevelop his game. Will we see him today? That's something that we all got to find out within ourselves. Now we switch over to the London Lightning, 26-4, and yes, they are sitting comfortably in first place as they claimed the Central Division title once again after their win against Windsor Saturday night, which was one of the closest this Budweiser Gardens crowd have seen in quite some time. So you got to think of it, and you look at the stat sheet, game's pretty close. Both of these clubs average over 100 points a game. So expect a high-scoring game for these guys. Cape Breton's last game was this past Sunday at Center 200. They lost against the Orangeville A's 129-111. Now they travel here west to the Forest City, looking to pin an upset on the London Lightning. Incidentally, we'll go to the home court advantage this London Lightning team has. They have only lost 1 game, as most of you know, this season. But here's an interesting statistic. Out of their last 3 home games, those games have been pretty close. Those last 3 home games, they have won by an average margin of 7 points. So it's pretty close. Will this game be a close one? Once again, let's find out. Stats, keys for the game. You got to control the boards. These are the 2 most efficient rebounding teams you will meet. You got one team from the Atlantic Division who's known for crashing the boards, and then, of course, the London Lightning, who has big depth, which is the reason why they lead the boards. You got to have smooth ball rotation. That goes double for both teams, because when you have smooth ball rotation, you're going to have higher percentage shots. And once again, let the game come to you, plan everything out, and be consistent. By that I mean, look for all-around players to do the job. And if you're all around playing the transition game, you are going to be all right. Okay, we got Brett Hedges and Mitch Kobe and Justin Prince doing the game in Windsor. I'm here in London with Chris Croucher and John Van Halling. So take your pick. It's either Windsor or London, and then sit back, relax, watch your computer screen, watch these dynamic duos collide. We got you covered in this 2 games of 3 marquee right here Wednesday night. So we'll do the anthem and then the starters first, and we'll get to the action right here. This is the Knockstrom Doublecade. We'll return right after the aforementioned details.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the singing of the Canadian National Anthem, tonight to be performed by SIDAC with students from the London Catholic Schools, Kiana, Sophia, and Jayla. Lightning fans, please support our 50-50 charity today, the Lung Association. We take about 20,000 breaths, and most of us take that for granted. For those who live with poor lung health, each breath is a struggle. If you breathe, lung health.
Okay, welcome, sports fan. Budweiser Gardens here on a Wednesday night midweek game. I'm Jonathan Howlingen, along with my partner Chris Croucher. We'll call the game for you tonight between the Cape Breton Highlanders and the London Lightning. Chris, sort of on paper, battle of mismatch here maybe, if we look on paper.
Yeah, the London Lightning have been a much more successful team so far this season, but as Aaron Sanders was mentioning in the pregame, there's very much a possibility here for Cape Breton to pull off an upset. They're a team that's been adept at doing it so far this year. And for London, it's a bit of a trap game. They have that Eastern road trip coming up, and they might be looking ahead to that. And this could be a chance for the Cape Breton Highlanders to maybe steal a win here in a place that not many teams have been able to steal a win.
Yeah, so with only 9 wins, you sort of wonder with London on another 8-game winning streak after their long winning streak was snapped, and a hard-fought battle against Windsor last Saturday. This will be quite a different game tonight, I think. So we're doing the introduction of the player lineups coming up, and tonight is the Lung Association, who is our charity tonight, so we welcome them aboard as well. So some familiar names on the Cape Breton Highlanders. I think the one coming to center court, I think everybody will know Clinton Springer if you're following college or university basketball here in Ontario and of course in Canada, a product of the Carleton Ravens, one of the most dominant teams and really I would say programs in the country with Dave Smart.
Of course, Springer Williams spent some time here in London as a member of the Lightning, and he's really improved as a player. During his time with the Lightning, he didn't really get a ton of playing time, but he's been able to become a good rotational player in a couple different spots. Of course, he ended up with Cape Breton due to a trade earlier in the year with Shaq Keith going to Windsor the other way, and it'll be interesting to see how he does in front of his home crowd here tonight.
Well, so if we do some preliminary looking at the stats, we know we have London's the number 1 scoring team in the league versus number 7 scoring out of 10 teams with Cape Breton 115 to 102. So quite a disparity there. What I'm really looking at, though, is the defense. London is near the top, number 4. They're all grouped quite close together at 102 points. But number 10, last in the league, are the Cape Breton Highlanders for allowing points. Even though they are a decent rebounding team, they are giving up a lot of points as they have a negative differential for the season.
Yeah, and part of that big rebounding number comes from the fact that they take so many shots that some of them are bound to be missed, and that's how they end up racking up a lot of rebounds. But they do have a good interior force with Chadrak Lufiel, who's one of the better bigs in the league, and he'll have to come up big here tonight up against Royce White and the London Lightning.
Yes, Royce White coming back after a 1-game absence. He's back in the lineup tonight. I think Junior Cadogan is still out with a foot injury, maybe another week, we heard. So we'll look forward to seeing London having a full team possibly when they go on the road. Of course, we have some prolific three-point shooting from the London Lightning. In particular, you're looking at Ryan Anderson. He's scored over 100 three-pointers this year already. London has made 352 three-pointers opposed to 254 for Cape Breton. So 100 more three-pointers. So we'll see how that plays out tonight as well, especially against, well, number 10 defense in the league.
Yeah, if Cape Breton wants to pull off this upset, they're going to have to keep very close with the London Lightning early on in this game to make sure London doesn't get too many of their threes to go and start making too many of those shots.
And of course, London, part of that high-scoring offense, they were having 8 players averaging in double figures, which is always hard to match up when you got players coming off the bench as an opponent, and they're coming with double figures as well in scoring. Coach for the London Lightning is Kyle Julius. Coach for Cape Breton Highlanders, Ben Resner. We did a little bit of homework on Ben Resner. Maybe one of his claims to fortune is that he did do a training camp and some coaching, and with the likes of LeBron James and Kyrie Irving invited to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he did rub shoulders with some of the best players in basketball. Played Division I as well as part of his experience in the past for basketball. So like we said, waiting for the opening lineups to be announced. On the big screen, some of the pictures of the London Lightning players. Not quite a big a crowd tonight, maybe partly because of a mid-game. Kids are in school, all that kind of stuff. So looking for Cape Breton Highlanders. Frazier is one of the starters, Mann Jr., Woodfox, Rush, and Walker. And I'm sure you'll hear their names a lot as we go on tonight, along with Herring Jr., Williamson, Boyd, Anderson, and Phillips. As we see, Royce White not in the starting lineup tonight after a one-game absence. Herring Jr. coming on the floor. He is the #1 assist man per game in the league for the London Lightning.
And as we talked about last game, with Junior Cadogan out, they're really going to have to lean on Doug Herring to be that primary ball handler and really carry the offense, generate it a lot. He's helped by having Royce White back, but if White isn't starting, I can imagine there might be a little bit of limited minutes going on with him too. And if that's the case, Doug Herring Jr. is going to have to do a lot of the work again tonight.
Well, there are some good ball handlers on the London Lightning. Not the point guard is maybe not their primary position. I'm thinking in particular Garrett Williamson and Ryan Anderson, who also helped out quite a bit in the last game as well. It's our first look at the Cape Breton Highlanders. Of course, this is our first and only visit to the London Lightning here in London, Ontario, the way that the league is scheduled between the East and the West. So it's sort of always hard to gauge when you haven't seen the team yet and you're just looking at paper. Well, we do know they have had 2 big upsets in the East, as was mentioned in the pregame show. Let's see if there's another one on the horizon tonight and how competitive it will be. So London will be in their home whites tonight, and Cape Breton in the blues.
You gotta think there might have been some Detroit inspiration with those Cape Breton jerseys.
They certainly look very similar to that. And I know the Pistons and the Raptors are playing tonight. Hopefully the Raptors can rebound from that turnaround that happened last night with Indiana. I think all basketball fans who are following basketball, or especially if you're in Ontario, you're a Toronto Raptor fan likely. Even though San Antonio is my favorite, Toronto is closest, and I do cheer for them as well. But yeah, they do look like Detroit Pistons, do they not? Do they have a Joe Dumars in there? I wonder.
Maybe a Vinnie Microwave Johnson?
Yeah, or maybe an Isaiah Thomas, talking about all the old school players. Well, the crowd's getting revved up. Anthem's been sung. Introductions have been made. Players are on the court. Ball game about to start. Anthony Walker jumping off with Julian Boyd for the opening tip-off. Walker wins that quite easily, actually. So first possession to the Cape Breton Highlanders. Let's see what kind of team they are bringing to the floor tonight. That's Chad Frazier, one of their star players up top, along with Billy Rush. It's a difficult pass to be made cross court, barely kept in by Cape Breton. Dangerous pass, wide open in the corner, but that should be a shot clock violation, even though Charles Mann Jr. did make that shot. Good hustle by London Lightning, forcing them into a poor and late pass.
Yeah, they did a good job bringing the pressure at just the right time, making sure it didn't get into a ball handler's hands.
Alley-oop to Julian Boyd. We've seen that quite often in some of the opening possessions, trying to establish Julian Boyd inside. A terrific acrobatic catch in the air and putting it off the backboard. There's a foul. Looked like a reach-in by Chad Frazier. Hit. Looks like that's where Ryan Anderson is at on the floor.
Yes, just caught him there.
Yeah, well, that's going to be Anderson's first foul. Of course, Anderson, the leading three-point getter in the league. What, over 100 three-pointers made in the season. I can't even imagine that. My goodness. And a good shooting percentage as well. Phillips on the floor trying to stop the drive, kick out to the three-point line, and makes it. Billy Rush.
And the thing with Billy Rush is you see him on the inside, so you kind of forget that he can make that three, but he's a very versatile player, so you got to keep your eye on him.
So good early start. Both shots were made for three-pointers, which is good for Cape Breton if they can match that. That'll keep them in the game. Doug Herring Jr. into Marvin Phillips, who had an off night shooting the three-pointers the other night. And this is his first one. But he's more than capable of making those. Steal by quick hands, quick feet. That time by Doug Herring Jr. bringing the ball up, taking his time for a little pull-up jumper from the foul line. No problem. Nobody came and stopped the ball. He got all the way into the sweet area. So it looks like Frazier is the primary ball handler for Cape Breton. A backdoor play, nicely done. And that's put in by Booker Woodfox, one of the top scorers. The top scorer for Cape Breton Highlanders. Gain another nice give and go that time. Pick and roll with Marvin Phillips, and no opposition for the easy slam.
Yeah, there just hasn't been much obstruction at all from the defense here for Cape Breton. And that's going to be a great play there. Garrett Williamson drawing the charge.
He anticipated where Mann Jr. was going, and he got there first, according to the referee, Rich Stellick, who I admire terrifically as a ref. Well, I think maybe they should have been doing the NCAA game on Monday night. Oh, my goodness, what an atrocity for refereeing Monday night. I totally agree with those commentators. That was poor, especially the second half. In this case, that's the call made by Stellick. Looked like a legit call to me. London with possession, up early, 6-5. Marvin Phillips again, he's got the wide open three. Doesn't take it this time, puts it into the corner for Garrett Williamson, the steadying hand. Nice wide open that time for Marvin Phillips. Looked like he's sort of shooting off his back foot that time. Not getting both his legs underneath it. Falls well short. This is Woodfox with the jumper, and he makes it. And it counts as a three as well. We can see why he's the leading scorer for Cape Breton, able to get his own shot. Quick shot here by Anderson. He knows it's off. Going to be a pushing foul underneath, I believe, on Julian Boyd, likely.
You know, so far this is a pretty good start for the Cape Breton Highlanders. If you can shoot out hot in the first half, because that's when London's strongest has been that first half. So if you can not only survive that rush, but keep up with them, that sets you up for a very good second half. And so Cape Breton off to a very good start, but they got to make sure they can maintain it.
Frazier again with the ball, and beautiful pass. And does he get high in the air? Does Anthony Walker for that slam? My goodness. Flying through the air with the greatest of ease. Isn't that the phrase? Nice off the backboard, and it's got for
we got a
wedgie. Yes, I want to say that. Good one. Wedgie it is. So that goes, I believe that goes to possession arrow, so that since Cape Breton won the opening tip-off, it'll be London's ball again, with a new shot clock as well. No, yes, it should be a new shot clock, from what I understand with the possessions, and it is reset to 24.
And then back to 16.
Should be. It's a possession arrow, so it's a possession change.
I would think.
Okay, maybe we'll have to read up on those rules. Find out. Anderson closely guarded by a much smaller player, though. Boyd just beats his man through that screen.
Right now, Boyd's been able to beat Billy Rush on all of those cuts right now. I'd keep giving it to him.
And no help coming from the interior defense. Everybody's head was turned. 10-8 for Cape Breton. And again, an outside shot. And he makes it again. Chad Frazier. Like we said, these are all really new to us. We have not seen them play other than watching on the live streaming. It's a lot different when you see them on the court. And Doug Herring Jr. tit for tat. Nice under it. Basket pass, that time by Frazier, but Walker unable to convert. Doug Herring Jr. inside to Julian Boyd, who's had the hot hand. He pulls out for a jumper, unable to convert. Cape Breton on a semi-fast break here. Looks like he's going right to hoop, and nobody comes. Yes, Boyd comes late, but he's going to draw the foul, unable to establish his position.
Yeah, man really just shut down the defense with that little stutter step. He just hesitated and shifted gears before he went for that cut.
I was almost ready to call for a three-point shot attempt, and then he almost fooled me.
Got everyone lost.
Okay, so Royce White checking in. Walker going out for Cape Breton, and our first look at Shadrach Lufield. Makes his first. It's Charles Mann Jr., that is. Cape Breton up by 3 in the early going. A little under 8 minutes to go in this first quarter. Different tenor to this game than what we saw last week Saturday night with Windsor, wouldn't you say?
It's amazing how the intensity drops a bit when Windsor isn't here.
Great shot by Anderson, hanging in the air. Took the contact off the backboard, and he goes against again, I think London really spotted the mismatch underneath, and Ryan took him right down to the basket. Yes, last Saturday was a very competitive, I would say, highly charged, somewhat emotional game between Windsor and London Lightning, the battle of we haven't called it quite yet, the 401 we know, West I guess we're going to call it, right? How about the 401 West, the West Wars? Nice interior rebound that time by Marvin Phillips, staying with it. I think he needs to do more of that personally for London. He's one of the few really strong interior players. He has not played much in the interior this year, deferring somewhat to Boyd and to White, of course, as well.
And that right there was just a mistake by Cape Breton. Went out of bounds, and there was really no reason for it.
So, like we said, Herring Jr., primary ball handler with Junior Cadogan out for London Lightning. This is Garrett Williamson, unable to make the three. Cape Breton taking their time, bringing the ball up. Nice anticipation by Williams on that pass. Back and forth goes the pass, and a bit of a careless turnover by Anderson. White was not expecting that. He was expecting Anderson to go to the hoop. That's going to be Phillips. That's going to be an intentional foul. I don't know if that'll be called a flagrant or not, but definitely an intentional foul. Marvin grabbed. Who is that sitting on the floor there? That's Charles Mann Jr., and that could cause injury doing it that kind of way.
I would think that would have to be a flagrant on that one.
I would think at least a flagrant one, I would think, yes. So hopefully the man's okay. He got a good yank on his left shoulder there. Tie ball game, 7 minutes in here in the first quarter. He'll be shooting 2, and that should probably be Cape Breton's ball after this as well. Unable to convert the first. Yeah, so London's going to be going on the road, I think, out east for a couple games as well. We'll see them back here next Wednesday again. It's a busy schedule here for London Lightning, well, for the whole league, really, in April. A lot of games packed in here. And, of course, we have the London Knights here as the hockey team that plays in the Budweiser Gardens, and they survived the Windsor series last night. Close game. I watched that. And so they'll have some more home dates as well that we'll have to work around for the London Lightning. Woodfox into first early look. Long three-pointer by Lufield. Straight up man-to-man defense. Looks like they're fronting Royce White. In comes the shooter. We know what he can do. That'd be Kyle Johnson, Mr. of Fame, 50 points plus the one game this year. We could almost call him microwave, I would think.
He does heat up.
And a nice long shot. Cape Breton matching 3-pointers tonight so far early in the going. Even though they scored 100 less this year than London did, so far they're staying even with them. Good hustle. They're out of bounds by Booker Woodfox.
Yeah, smart to throw it right at Doug Herring, too, and get the ball back.
Oh, it's Marvin Phillips heading to the bench. And our first look tonight at Tony Criswell getting significantly more playing time as the season has progressed.
He's really done a good job with it. He hasn't had his strongest lately, but early in the year he was definitely a key part of the bench, and especially in their front court rotation.
Again, ball rotation out to 3-point line. A little jump, pull a jump shot, and Cape Breton's shooting percentage very high so far.
Yeah, shooting 75% from the field. That's a good night.
That's unheard of if you keep it up the whole game. That was Booker Woodfox with the last one. This is Kyle Johnson. Is he feeling it tonight? He is. That's his second 3-pointer, 2 for 2. With a hand in his face as well.
Got more threes on the way with Joel Friesen getting ready to come in too.
Cape Breton that time unable to convert. Chad Frazier that time trying to match. This is Royce White. First look drive to the hoop. Takes the contact. Criswell gets to the friendly home court bounce and roll.
Not sure we've got the whistle here for it.
No, I'm not sure. I think there might be. I'm not sure what's being called. It looks like timeout being called. We did not see the indication until just now. So 23-21, very competitive game so far with Cape Breton shooting a high percentage, able to convert most of their free looks so far. We'll see how long that continues tonight. Kyle Johnson starting to heat up for the 3-pointers.
And again, the fact that Cape Breton's able to keep pace right now is huge. London, historically a very good early part of the game team. They usually come out hot, and they usually shoot the ball from beyond the arc really well. So for Cape Breton to be keeping pace, that's kind of all you want. We've seen teams with better records than Cape Breton come in here and be unable to endure that early onslaught. So Cape Breton has done a better job than a lot of teams have been able to do here in Bud Gardens this year. For London, you can't even really say they've had a bad game. They're shooting 58%, which normally would be a great night, but when the other team's shooting 77%, it means we got a shootout on our hands.
Well, there'll be some talk in the huddle there, I'm sure, on the London side. A little more contesting of those wide open shots, which so far Cape Breton is burying. Cape Breton doing a good job not allowing London to run out on any day. Well, part of the reason there's no fast break for London, and I always say that, there's no defensive boards, you can't fast break.
Yeah, they haven't really been able to get the transition game going, but they have done a good job working their offense and running their systems so far. And that's led to those points, and they've done a good job finding guys cutting to the basket. Part of the reason London's been able to get that lead right now, despite the way that Highlanders are shooting, they've had 7 more opportunities, whether it's because of the turnovers or because of rebounding, both battles of which London is winning. They've been able to get all those extra opportunities, and that means that even though Cape Breton's been shooting the 3 well, London's been making up for it because they're getting so many 2s, and even a couple of 3s thanks to Kyle Johnson.
Well, London is the number 1 in the league for steals as well, so Cape Breton's going to need to protect the ball and not turn it over unnecessarily.
Yeah, 5 turnovers in the first 7 minutes is not exactly the best number for Cape Breton, and that's something they got to correct, or else London can make them pay later.
Yes, it might come back to haunt them. Okay, ball back in play. A few substitutions on both teams. We'll see if we can get those names figured out for you. This is Frazier with the ball up tops. Again, the primary ball handler. Our first look at Austin Witter. Like a holding foul on Criswell that time. Out to the 3-point line again. Nice ball movement by Cape Breton. Wide open 3. Uncontested and sunk again by Charles Mann Jr. Friesen up top. Doug Herring Jr. hasn't come off the floor yet. He is the primary ball handler into Criswell. They're seeing something inside. Will Herring take the shot? Nice ball rotation. Friesen, the second leading 3-point shooter for London Lightning with over 65 threes, and he buries his first attempt. It's a 3-point barrage tonight so far.
No kidding.
Good hands that time by Royce White. Nice lead out. And a good follow through that time by Anthony Criswell, warding off the defender at the rim.
Hey, you know he was thinking about the big slam, but he went for the much smarter layup on that play.
I think that's a wise move at this point in the game. More dough than show is what we need, right?
Exactly.
And a drive uncontested through the lane. That time by Frazier. Cape Breton keeping pace, basket for basket, 2-point game. Criswell up top. This is Kyle Johnson, who's made his first 2-3 attempts. Royce White coming up for the high screen. Like you said, he didn't play last game, and really a couple of players picked up the assists for the team. That's a illegal push behind the back that time by Kyle Johnson. Royce White, even though he plays center, he has averaging over 6 assists per game, one of the league leaders and one of the team leaders as well for the London Lightning. So Doug Herring gets his first break on the bench. We have a look at Marcus Capers. Jaron Skeet with the ball up top. This is Lou Field trying to take Royce White. It's a difficult task, take him to the basket. I think he stepped out of bounds, I believe it was called. Royce White just hounding him to the baseline. Good, solid defense.
Yeah, that should be an interesting matchup in this game, is Royce White versus Shadrach Lufiel. Because Lufiel is one of the guys who actually has the size to really match with White. Not a lot of teams can say they have a guy like that.
Friesen trying to hunt his shot down for Kyle Johnson. Drives to the hoop, kicks it out. Deflected that time. This is Capers backing his man down so he can get to the hoop. Little chicken wing, but no call made. And he gets up in a hurry and slams it down.
Just a good job by Capers, and maybe he got away with a little bit of one there, but he still managed to finish on the play, so good job.
Well, he did it on the side where the ref couldn't see it, so there you go. That's totally legal. Again, a nice drive to the hoop and hammered. Was Chad Frazier, but he's able to make the layup. Strong drive.
London's got to start worrying about their foul trouble. It's only the 3-minute mark of the first quarter, and they're just one away from the limit right now.
Yes, we saw that a couple games ago where London did let a little too easy the opposition make a drive down the lane. Tonight there's been 3 or 4 drives uncontested. We'll need to clean that up if they want to get some gap between them and Cape Breton. This is White, really only a second touchdown need. Open three-pointer by Criswell. Not sure if that was needed yet. And he did not make it. London back on defense this time. Austin Witter up top. Another long three-point attempt, and it rolls around for Jaron Skeet. Wow, and an ill-advised long pass by Criswell. I'll see that London, they seem out of sorts. Nice passing that time by Cape Breton. Unselfish play. Back inside to the middle, and they take the lead. 34-30 for Cape Breton. Is an upset in the works tonight.
Just like that, though, they were down 4 not even 20 seconds ago, and just like that, Cape Breton back in it.
I think that's going to be an offensive push that time on Criswell. An ill-advised pass that led to a basket for Cape Breton, and now a offensive push-off by Criswell negates that basket. And that puts them over the limit, just like you said. Only 2 fouls on Cape Breton so far in this game. Already at the 7 mark for London. High efficiency, I would say, for Cape Breton at the moment.
Well, they're still shooting 80% now.
80% going
from
up.
the field.
My goodness, that's unbelievable.
85% from three-point land, 6 for 7.
Well, they come in with a good game plan, and the players, everybody that's shot the ball has shot it well so far.
It's not exactly a strategy you want to count on, shooting 85% from 3 every game, but, I mean, when you can make it work.
Well, I think you ride it until it doesn't work, and then you come up with another game plan. 35 points allowed in this quarter by London Lightning. Substitution in for Cape Breton, or look at Clinton Springer. Familiar trademark glasses on. Friesen down, looking underneath for Royce White, which I think is where they need to go a little more often, either for himself or for another player. And look at what we see. Muscles his way right up and over the rim.
2 minutes.
2 minutes left in this quarter. It's Jaron Skeet trying to go hard to the hole, and I think he traveled. Trying to muscle his way in a little too hard against a good defense that time. Well, Doug Herring Jr. sitting on the bench for a while here. Marcus Capers with the ball. Joel Friesen now up top. Looking again for Royce White. I think they need to go to this more often than not. And he can always kick it out. A little jump step. Can he put it in? He does. He, with his big wide shoulders, he carves himself some space in there and gains the foul.
Yeah, and Cape Breton even brought the help defense, but like a lot of teams, they found that that isn't really enough. You almost have to bring I know you can't, but you almost have to bring a third person in when Royce White gets going with the ball. But the problem is, if you bring any more help, if anyone even looks back for half a second, he usually hits that open man with a pass.
Exactly. That's why I think they need to give it into White as often as they can and let him decide which way it's going. I remember Charles Barkley once describing players like Royce White as a wide body. He described himself as a wide body. He just carves a lot of space down there, does Royce White. And I don't mean weight-wise. I mean, he has that ability to.
He's bulky.
Yeah, and he holds people off. Allow him a chance to make the pass or make the move inside. Trying to pound it inside. Friesen's got a mismatch there. Double team coming partially there.
Easy call.
You feel that's
got the full arm extension on Joel Friesen there.
London picking up their defense, closing the gap to 2 points. A minute 21 to go. I think both teams sort of feeling each other out as well because they haven't seen each other this year. You can watch all the tape you want. It's a lot different when you're on the floor. Royce White again going down a little farther out in the post position this time. Lufield had him pushed out nicely. Ball back out to Johnson, that time unable to convert. Ball kept loose. Capers up top. Joel Friesen wide open three. He does like that spot, unable to convert. Johnson with the ball again inside. Kicks it back out. And Royce White settling it down for the offense. Now he's got his feet set. When his feet are set, Kyle Johnson is deadly. That's his third one tonight.
We haven't really seen him go off since that 51 game. Of course, shortly after he hurt his ankle, missed a couple games, and we haven't really seen him have that big shooting performance since coming back. Maybe tonight he can get something going.
Well, they certainly could use that off the bench, that's for sure. A pin on the backboard by Royce White. See how quick he got off the floor. I thought he was too late for it. And again, that time he gets his shot blocked. He left it out just a little too far. And a steal by the number one team in the league. This is Royce White. He puts that down for a one-hander slam. Turnover again. This is going to hurt Cape Breton because London will convert. Nice up and under. Can he make that shot? A little too strong, but a nice move at the buzzer by Chad Fraser, unable to convert it. Well, a very competitive first quarter. 39-36 in the end here for the London Lightning due to some timely three-point shooting by Kyle Johnson and a finishing there touch by Royce White.
Well, an absolute shootout of a quarter. Some great shooting numbers from the Cape Breton Highlanders, too. Again, we mentioned the turnovers being a problem for the Highlanders, and they were a big one. 10 turnovers in that quarter alone. That's simply not going to do it. And to be honest, they could be up by over 10 if they didn't turn the ball over the way they were shooting it. 85% from beyond the arc, 6 for 7, and 75% shooting. Those are amazing numbers, and 36 points in a quarter is nothing to sneeze at either. But when you let London get that kind of extra opportunities that they did, London able to shoot their way back into the game. They're shooting 53%, 38% from beyond the arc, and you let them back in the game despite the fact they're not shooting as well as you by having those 10 turnovers. So some really good things for Cape Breton, but they also shot themselves in the foot at the same time.
Yes, they did. That's a high-scoring quarter. I know the last game they played was a 40-point difference for the London Lightning. I think 136-98 or something like that. So London did score a lot of points last game, but they played a little better defense against Cape Breton. Cape Breton able to convert their chances tonight. I don't think London's going to be happy with their defense. 36 points in a quarter is quite high. Let's do the math on that. 4 times 36. Quick, what is that?
Anyone who's been listening to London games for a while,
so, yeah.
Anyone who's been listening to London games for a while knows I'm terrible at math.
Come on, you're great at stats. I think it's about 144 points, something like that. It's a lot. So you can't win games when you give up 144 points. I cannot see Cape Breton scoring at this pace for the rest of the game. They're going to need to make some adjustments on their defense as well.
Well, London's already using their depth to their advantage because we talked about Cape Breton shooting hot, so maybe you don't want to make too many changes. Sure, I get that, but at the same time, London with 24 bench points already in this game. A lot of that, of course, coming from Kyle Johnson with his 9 points off the bench to lead all scorers. But for London, they've got that depth that maybe when the Cape Breton guys cool off, London's big guys are going to be fresh and ready to go.
Okay, so we're ready to start second quarter here at Budweiser Gardens on a midweek game. Still lots of kids out, I see. I'm John Mahowling along with Chris Croucher calling the game here between the London Lightning and the Cape Breton Highlanders. Nice to see a bit of a different team. We've had quite a steady diet of the teams here out in the West, or Central Conference as we want to call it. And so it's sort of refreshing to see an East Coast team. They played once before with London winning handily the last time. Much more competitive game tonight. First look at Darren Scott on the floor. And again, this is Charles Mann Jr. looking underneath, playing against Joel Friesen, who is a terrific defender, nearly got a shot off. Terrific save in the corner, and Kyle Johnson able to hang on to it. So again, Doug Herring Jr. sitting quite a bit tonight, probably intentionally. He's had a lot of playing time. The coaches say he was getting a bit tired. Maybe he's going to try to spare him some playing time. That's Royce White, just a little too strong, but huge rebound by Criswell that time.
I actually think Witter got a hand on that Royce White shot there, just deflected it just enough to tip it a little bit, but Criswell, nice rebound. Now he gets to go to the line.
Two shots for Criswell. Anthony Criswell makes his first. Got that little Pac-Man logo song I'm hearing there?
Yep.
Yeah, that brings it. That's way back.
Pardon me, that might not be Pac. I think that's Mario getting
his
his one-up mushroom.
That's the Mario one. That's the one. I'm thinking this is an old school little jingle. It's a Mario. That's what it is. I was thinking Pac-Man, but no, that's even farther back. Man with the ball up top. Nice back door. Can he convert? He does for his first basket of the game. They're on Scott. Keeper still on the floor with the ball. Up top by Kyle Johnson, who has been shooting well. Friesen with the ball up top. Little rotation. Little step back. To Friesen on the top. And he takes a little jump shot. Unable to convert. Nobody on the offensive boards that time for London. Darren Scott bringing the ball up. Long three-pointer. Unable to convert that time. That was shot by Austin Witter.
Too early in the shot clock, too.
Kyle Johnson, underhanded pass. That should be a walk, I would think, on Criswell. Absolutely couldn't get his feet set. Marvin Phillips coming in for Royce White. Played significant minutes after his one-game absence. And Marvin Phillips into the ball game. Still no sign of Doug Herring Jr. So I have a feeling if they're ahead, London will probably sit him quite a bit tonight. Hopefully in a week, Junior Cadogan will be back, the primary ball handler for most of the year. Up top, Johnson trying to stay in front of Mann Jr. Again, 0 for 2 in the three-pointer so far. Not too many other options at the moment for Cape Breton, what I see in offense. Kyle Johnson with the early screen from Phillips. Big of a push-off that time by Johnson. Not called, though. Cape Breton with a semi-break going on here. Up top to Clinton Springer. Blocked by Capers. He stays with it, though. Does Springer, and he puts it back in to narrow the gap to 1 point. Marcus Capers with a quick shot by Joel Friesen. He's very comfortable out there, especially when his feet are set as well.
Now the shooting's starting to cool off for Cape Breton here. Are they going to be able to adjust and keep pace here with the Lightning?
Kyle Johnson and Mann sort of tussling underneath there. Nice drive that time by Clinton Springer. No real contest on that shot. No real interior presence for London Lightning to go to at the moment like they have with Royce White. Missed that time by Johnson. And here comes Springer again with the ball up top. Darren Scott lobs it over. That's a holding foul on Kyle Johnson. Holding on to Billy Rush, who had the position on him. Well, some wholesale substitutions for London. Garrett Williamson, Ryan Anderson, and Royce White back in already quickly. Guess the coach looking to see what the matchups are out there. Friesen stays on the floor for the Lightning. We have Scott and Springer along with Walker, unable to hang on to that ball. A nice little dish. As well as Billy Rush, and who's our last player that I haven't mentioned there, Charles Mann, yes. Those are the 5 for Cape Breton. Garrett Williamson, a little weave up top with Ryan Anderson. Such great body control, unable to flip the underhander off the backboard and in. Quick fast break again, Joel Friesen. He goes hard after the ball. Looked like it was all ball. He must have got him on the lower body. Anticipated that terrifically with his left hand.
I was going to say that looked like a pretty clean and beautiful block there, but instead Cape Breton going to go to the line. It's pretty important they make these shots, keep it tight.
Well, Scott to the line for 2. They're down by 2. See if he can convert them both and tie the ball game up. Makes his first. And his second, so tie ball game. Partway through this second quarter, Williamson, nobody at all contesting him. Bit of a late challenge that time by Anthony Walker's luck. I'm glad Williamson didn't really go crashing down the floor and get hurt that time.
Yeah, that was a very late jump there from Walker. Williamson looked like he was going to have a clear path to the basket there. Almost some Matador defense from the Cape Breton Highlanders on that play.
Looked like sort of somebody forgot who their man was, and Williamson made him pay for it. Misses his first one. Reliable free throw shooter normally. Makes a second. So Darren Scott getting lots of playing time tonight. Anderson guarding him currently. Trying to get it to Clinton Springer, but Garrett Williamson did a good job cutting him off. Up top it is. Looks like he's pinned down. Nowhere to go right now for Cape Breton. See what they can generate for offense. This is Mann with Anderson on him. Bit of a taller player. Nice crossover dribble. And again, it looked like Anderson got clipped on the chin, but he's the one that's got the foul.
Got a feel for Anderson. I haven't seen a lot of games where a guy gets hit in the face twice and gets called on him both times.
Just a little too much into the offensive player's space, and the referee calling that. So substitution as well for Cape Breton. Looks like Springer's heading out. And number 3, Chad Frazier back in. Charles Mann shooting for the old-fashioned three-pointer. They're already up by 1. Cape Breton hanging around and playing competitive with the number 1 team in the league. No doubt about it. Still no sign of Doug Herring Jr. Royce White up top. Marvin Phillips trying to play inside, and uncharacteristically by White turning it over. And that's a poor pass, a late pass. That time by Chad Frazier. He probably should have taken it himself. I think there's going to be a timeout call, a bit of a sloppy play on both ends. Timeout call by London. Definitely looking to try to establish Marvin Phillips inside, it looked like that time, Royce White, which I think is really, they're going to need him inside in the playoffs. He's been played primarily on the periphery, sometimes because of the position he's playing in, but I think part of his choice as well.
That's one of the things that Marvin Phillips kind of got caught for a bit. The last time he was a member of the London Lightning is he spent a bit too much time outside. But he's got the team here where it doesn't hurt you as much, but you definitely want to see Marvin play a little bit more inside.
Oh, I remember a few years ago when they were winning the championships, he was just a monster inside and outside. That's just such a double threat. So I'm not sure if he's sort of deferring to some of his teammates, but I think he really could go inside and be the big, powerful player that he can be. He has some great post moves as well.
Well, I do think part of it is the way the league has changed. Of course, back when the Lightning won that championship, a power forward might be 6'5", so Marvin at 6'7" was a very tall power forward, whereas nowadays a power forward in this league is anywhere from 6'7" to 6'11". So it's almost harder to play inside, too, when it's changed that much.
Yeah, and be fair to Marvin as well, that London does not have a real particular tall team. They've really gone with a lot of skilled shooting, 2, 3s, and 4s, right, in which he fits into that mold terrific. And a lot of the other teams do have quite often more size than London do. Not necessarily more skill or shooting, but definitely size. But London, on the other hand, for the most part, their guards typically are bigger than most of the point guards in the other teams. As you look across the whole, we've seen mismatches many times with Doug Herring Jr. and Ryan Anderson and Garen Williamson being able to back down a smaller opponent. There's always give and takes on any kind of position and any kind of skill set and size as well.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more Booker Woodfox from Cape Breton. He shot the ball perfectly, 7 points in that first quarter, and we haven't really seen him at all since. And you'd think they'd want to keep that shooting going for Cape Breton.
Williamson was right up in the grill of Chad Frazier this time. Frazier trying to take it to the hole. That's going to be a travel. He got a pin on his hip that time and couldn't get it released in time. Good aggressive defense by Williamson.
Went for the little LeBron crab dribble there. That's not really going to work.
And the ball up top. The Williamson definitely trying to run something through Phillips. That time another poor pass, and defender deflected it right into Cape Breton's hands. And they're pushing the pace and drawing the fouls again from the London Lightning. That's their 5th already here, as only opposed to 2 again, sort of a repeat of the first quarter. Well, so far, pretty impressed what I see from the Highlanders. They're more than holding their own against London Lightning. Getting scoring from different positions. So far, shooting at a high percentage. And speak of that, another 3-pointer that time. Charles Mann Jr. Royce White looking to isolate, going one-on-one. That'll be a pushing foul on Walker. There's no way he's going to be able to handle White one-on-one that far underneath the basket.
I think it's with that in mind that we're seeing this substitution right here.
Yes, I think you're right again. So Lou Field's in. I think the announcer said Lou File, so now I'm wondering which way it is. Thought we had looked it up. It was Lou Field, but apologize to any fans out there if we're pronouncing it incorrectly. Either way, he's a terrific ball player. Ryan Anderson with a long 3, the leading 3-point shooter in the league for number, 107 on the year. Frazier again trying to dribble in, and a reach-in foul that time. Adding to the foul total for Lightning, that's Williamson. Well, a deceptive kind of pace there by Frazier. That's what he's gotten Anderson twice, and now he's gotten Williamson foul. Drawn 3 fouls already. Ball inside to LaFille. This is a long 3-point shot again. That looked good from here by Mann Jr. Didn't go down though. White bringing the ball up for London. Sort of a ball fake. Goes in the. Here comes Phillips backing his way down like we thought maybe he should. Unable to convert, but that is the right move, I believe, for him. I think there's going to be a foul call. Technical, do you believe? Yes, a technical foul. I believe that is going to be either on Marvin Phillips. He was upset that he didn't get a foul call down there, but that was really the first time he had muscled his way down. So he really, if you're talking about old school, he hasn't earned it yet. He's got to be down there a few times to get those calls.
Yeah, it looks like he's still trying to figure out what he did exactly.
So, Cape Breton up by 2 halfway through the second quarter. So sometimes when you look on paper, it don't mean anything. When you come to the court, Cape Breton playing well. Frazier again, primary ball handler for Cape Breton is what we're seeing on the floor. A switch with Royce White on him right now. That's Billy Rush. Haven't heard too much of him lately. Sets the screen up top. Goes all the way across court. Underneath into the big forest there. And it looks like there's going to be some kind of offensive foul underneath. I believe on LaFille, Or 3 seconds in the key. It was called on Shadrack. Curious, no Doug Herring Jr. yet.
I think they're just giving him as much rest as they possibly can, save him for the second half.
Royce White underneath with 2 men on him, being patient, able to get it up and over. A nice soft touch He is so difficult to stop. Even just trying to stop him from getting in position, but just trying to stop him from getting a shot off.
Well, his combination of size, power, and his ability to have that soft touch around the rim, there's really nowhere that you can feel comfortable about defending Royce White.
Lufil with a nice pass from his teammate, takes it hard to the hoop. Anderson taking it hard, and he does have the good touch that time with the scoop off the backboard. Quick as a wink, it's tied, 52-52. London's got to come up with some answers on defense. Cape Breton has kept their shooting percentage up fairly well for this. Ooh, no, there's a lot of contact underneath there. Ball into the corner, unable to convert was Cape Breton. This is Williamson looking for the pass underneath. A little bit late, I think. Capers didn't realize he should have cut a little bit harder. He was being anticipated well by Williamson, but deflected out by Cape Breton. Still London ball. This is White. Oh, not quite inbounds yet. Was great little play though between him and White, but Garrett Williamson had never touched the inbounds before the ball touched him, so technically he was still out of bounds. Is that what you're thinking?
I thought he might have actually touched inbounds.
I think he had
got that, but
he cut
it was
the ball
close.
in the air,
it was
so
close.
I don't know if he was totally inbounds yet with both feet. So one foot might have come in, but not the other one landed yet. So either way, called illegal. Nice little set play though. I like that one. Sort of sneaky.
Just gotta stick the landing.
Yes, that's it. Very good. I like that. Frazier with the ball again with that hesitation dribble, and he just freezes the opponent. That's 4 or 5 times now we've seen that. He's drawn a foul a couple times, and that time got all the way to the basket. Terrific hesitation dribble. Friesen with the ball up top. Good hedge that time by Cape Breton on Billy Rush's part to keep him out from penetrating. White comes up. A little bit of contact that time with Williamson. White's going to take a rare three, unable to convert that time. Friesen nearly steals the ball. Rush going to the hoop. This is Lufil, able to do the reverse even after he got pushed by Williamson that time. Good controlled fast break by Cape Breton. And they're back on top again by 4.
Again, Cape Breton playing some phenomenal basketball right now. In London, we talked about the turnovers in the first half. London and Cape Breton now even on turnovers right now. Not in the total game, I mean in this quarter. But for Cape Breton, that just shows that they're starting to take care of the ball a bit. They're forcing a bit more turnovers. And now their shooting might not be as hot, but they're doing fine shooting the ball. They're still not cold. And London's having troubles keeping up now.
Well, nobody's going to maintain 80%, but I think I see 63% on the board.
63 and 58 from three-point land.
Yeah,
Still
so
pretty good,
that
too.
is very good halftime stats if they take it to the half. Considering if you shoot 40% from threes, you're considered an all-star, right? So if you're shooting over 50% from the field, you're considered an all-star. So Cape Breton shooting the ball very well tonight, and it's spread out throughout the lineup as well.
London's shooting the ball well, too. 43% from three-point land and 50% overall. So, I mean, both teams shooting the ball well, just one team a little better than the other. Basically, it's going to be whoever goes cold or whoever gets stops that decides the winner.
Well, London does have 8 players in double figures, so they can draw from a few more players, perhaps than Cape Breton. But right now, everybody on Cape Breton Highlanders are contributing. Frazier again up top with Scott. Scott getting lots of playing time. It's like a holding foul, I believe. Lufil driving to the basket for that little lob pass, and that is the bonus, going to be in the bonus. Royce White, that's his first foul. Royce White has struggled with foul problems during the year, during the game, averaging over 4 fouls a game. Makes his first, extends the lead to 5 points. 4 minutes from the half.
Again, Cape Breton just an absolute dream start to this game, considering what happened last time these two teams faced each other. It wasn't nearly this close.
Williamson up top, driving to the hoop. Got the ball stolen, knocked out of his reach, and this is going to be blocked by Capers on that drive by Frazier. Good timing and kept in bounds, no less. What's Williams going to do? A little Euro stepping up and around he goes. And that gets the crowd roaring. And a timeout call by Cape Breton.
Yeah, they could tell the crowd was going to get into it after that sequence. Marcus Capers just reaching for the sky and getting that block, and then that beautiful outlet pass and that Euro step, as you mentioned, by Garrett Williamson there. Charles Mann flashed the charge, but Williamson avoided it beautifully.
Yeah, he guessed one way and then he went the other way. So a la Mano Ginobili Euro step by San Antonio Spurs. Got to get them in at least once or twice a game, right? So still a 4-point lead for Cape Breton Highlanders. They're doing terrific against the top team in the league so far on an 8-game winning streak. But like Aaron said off the top of the show, they do have 2 big wins in their back pocket through Cape Breton over 2 top-notch teams. So that would be considered some big upsets. So they know how to do it.
And again, they're actually built quite similarly to London in terms of just get a bunch of shooters and then put a big guy right in the middle. And for Cape Breton, when those shooters are hot, they can play with anyone in this league because they can make those shots. And that's what London's finding out the hard way right now.
Well, you try to close out the shooters on the 3-point line, then they're going to start driving the lane. So you got to pick your poison sometimes. And if they're going to drive the lane, then the help defense needs to come in time, and the other people need to rotate. We have not seen that from London so far. Quite a few drives straight to the basket for Cape Breton with some timely 3-point shooting as well. So the Cape Breton ball after the timeout, up by 4. 3:42 left here in the second quarter. Chad Frazier getting lots of playing time, lots of ball handling time. Garrett Williamson on him, trying to slow him down. Lots of reaching in and trying to harass the point guards, get that time clock down. It's down to 10 seconds right now. Lufiel, not sure what he did there, but what's the call there, Chris?
I personally didn't really see much, but
I don't know. Sorry, folks, we didn't catch what that call was. I don't know if it was a foul or something off the ball. Anyway, Doug Herring Jr. in, going right to the hoop and making them pay with his own version of the hesitation dribble. So again, Frazier and Williamson, that's a good matchup. Frazier's got some good ball skills. That time he gives it up. Doug Herring Jr. Oh no, that's Chris Capers, sorry, with the slam. And there was no way that Charles Mann Jr. is going to try to keep up with that.
Marcus Capers so good in transition, running with the ball. You know, he's such a versatile player. He actually played the power forward spot when he was with Mississauga, so he can do a lot of different things on the court.
Power forward, I wouldn't have thought that, yeah.
Crazy. It seems crazy anyway. He did a good job of it.
Mann Jr. not able to make that 3-pointer, and here is Doug Herring Jr. with the ball up top, underneath to Royce White, and looks right away for Capers, and in from behind came Frazier. I thought maybe he had knocked the ball out because Capers sort of had to gather himself, but a foul is called.
Yeah, and it was a late whistle. The entire Cape Breton bench had just reached that moment of, okay, they're not going to call it, so they started getting up. Got a feel for the bench there.
Makes his first. Well, of course, Capers didn't play, up till about a month ago, I guess, right? He was out for quite a bit of the season, so he's really rounding in the form. We see that especially in the last few games. He's getting significantly more important playing time, and he's starting to contribute both offensively and defensively. Again, Frazier up top. A lot of guard play by Cape Breton at the moment. Finally goes down into Lufiel, trying to take White on the spin. Goes to his left hand and gets the friendly roll, but it won't go in for him. Royce White with the rebound. And that time, easy all the way, absorbs a punishment from Billy Rush. No problem. It was Royce White to finish that. We see Booker Woodfox back on the floor. We haven't seen him for a while. He is our leading point getter with 18 points per game. So sort of curious to credit for Cape Breton for staying ahead without their leading scorer. That time into the corner, Kyle Johnson. Is he still feeling it? It looked good, but it would not stay down for him. But he had a green light to shoot from the corner. And the Lightning are up by 4. Bit of a flurry the last 2 minutes. Can Cape Breton match it to the end of the half? Stay tight to London. Back door. The aforementioned Woodfox. He's going to take the three-pointer. He makes it right with somebody in his face. That being Kyle Johnson. 1 point game. What a high-scoring game. 63-62. Still a minute left in the first half. Royce White again down below. What a nightmare for the defender down below. It's Kyle Johnson again. A little bit of the chicken wing, but he's able to lay it up, and Capers does the follow-up off the rim. Looks like an injury down in the corner there.
It's Charles Mann.
Charles Mann,
that shoulder don't look too good.
I think that's the one that got yanked on by Marvin Phillips, I believe. So maybe it's is that?
I think it might be the other one, but that definitely looks like he's in quite a bit of pain there.
So 3-point lead for Lightning. 46 seconds left in the half. It's going to be Cape Breton ball. Fraser throwing it in to Booker Woodfox. Capers guarding Billy Rush, it looks like. This is Garrett Williamson. Quite often he'll get the toughest assignment on the floor as well. Between him and Friesen, they always get the toughest assignments, it seems like. Good deflection that time by the fresh as a daisy, Doug Herring Jr. Springer on the floor as well. This is Lufiel with the ball up top. Fraser looking, shot clock going down to 7 seconds. He's going to need to put it up. He's got Weiss on him. White on him. He takes it high off the backboard. Unable to convert that time. And the ball comes out. Doug Herring for the alley-oop. Yes, it does get finished by Garrett Williamson. Big finish at the end here. A bit of a flurry by the London Lightning. The last 2 minutes of play. And a lot of contact there between two guards, between Williamson and Fraser. Fraser really taking him to the task. Does he get it in before the buzzer? The referee counts it. And Fraser takes him to the hole. 67-64. High-scoring ball game here by Cape Breton. Matching shot for shot. And point for point, three-pointer for three-pointer. Down by 3 against the league-leading London Lightning. Chris, your thoughts?
Well, it was just an incredible half of basketball from the Cape Breton Highlanders, who, of course, came into this game being heavy underdogs, but have put up a heck of a fight here. And again, we talked about London always being fast out the gates. They always have a great first half, and if Cape Breton can just stay alive that first half, they can go in the second quarter and try to pull off this upset. They've done that, so now they've got an opportunity to go into the second half, keep this momentum going, and see if they can add to their, if they can steal and then continue to add to a lead.
Okay, so I'm John Hulling along with Chris Croucher of London Lightning, 67-64 at the halftime. We'll be back for the second half.
Convenient locations.
Well, I mentioned at the top of the game that this would be a high-scoring affair, and this is a pure example of this. 67-64, London Lightning get the lead back, and we welcome you back courtside for the Knockstrom halftime. Aaron Sanders bringing it with you. Boy, what a contest we have seen so far, and it's quite no surprise to this broadcaster or to anybody here at Budweiser Gardens right now. We're going to crack down the stats because I'm sure we're going to have a lot of things to discuss about. Cape Breton shot 57% from the field, and the London Lightning following suit with 54%. Here's why they shot more than 50% from the field. They chose their shots carefully, and I mentioned before the ball movement was very key, and it has been key so far for these two teams right now. The transition game at an all-time high. You think the London Lightning are very much astute at that level? You got to look at the Atlantic Division. The Cape Breton Highlanders are really giving them something to deal with in the first 24 minutes, and boy howdy, it has been a contest. The free throw percentage, it could be better, but to Cape Breton shooting 85% from the free throw line, that means a lot to them because They're getting inside, they're creating the contact, and they have great body control when they use their transition game to their advantage. And the one reason why they're using the transition game is because Charles Mann Jr., 16 points for him right now. He leads the game scoring right now. Royce White, evidently, I forgot to mention that most of you know Royce White had to go back home and deal with some family business. That's enough to be said, but it did not phase his game so far. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists to him. He's really getting back into the groove of things, and why not? He's keeping the London Lightning right into it, but the player that stands out to me the most so far, Kyle Johnson and Marcus Capers. Kyle Johnson stands out for me the most because he's one of the most shifty guards you have for the London Lightning. On the other hand, you have Marcus Capers getting back into the string of things. Of course, he's really falling through on shots, making sure he is in the basket, staying well poised, getting those tip-ins when they count the most, and when he gets the ball, you better move out of the way. That's how this game is going right now. Let's go out of town for just a few moments. Now, this is one half of the Knoxstrom Doublecade. The other half, we go to the WFCU Center in Windsor, and I'm sure my colleague Justin Prince is doing the halftime show as we speak right now. But the Windsor Express are trailing Niagara 52-49. This is Windsor's first game since Nick Evans went overseas to Saudi Arabia. Eric Parker is filling his space, I'm sure about that. Going down, Sam Muldrow leads with 16 points. Juan Patillo, 12 points as well. And the guy that averages a double-double, no surprise, you ask me. And it's a very close game. It's been a close game since tip-off, but Niagara has the advantage in the field goal department, shooting 55% from the field. More players who recognize DeAndre Thomas, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Wally Ellison on the board with 6. And in addition to that, Kirk Williams Jr., former Windsor Express, 11 points, 4 rebounds. Now let's go to the Institute. Orangeville A's hosting the Atlantic Division St. John Riptide. Their first and only visit there to Orangeville, and that game is pretty close itself, but the Riptide have the advantage 59-54. And Stefan Nastic, 12 points and 5 rebounds to his name. He's always flirts with the double-double. Can this be his night? We're going to have to find out. On the other hand, you got Anthony Anderson, 13 points, and let's talk about him for a quick second because this is a great segue to the NBLC Players of the Week. On the Atlantic Division, you have Anthony Anderson from the aforementioned Riptide. Now, if you've seen Devin Booker drop 70 points a couple of weeks ago against the Boston Celtics, he got inspired by that, and as you can see, he got inspired. He was at that game. He saw Tydron Beatty drop a big number, so he dropped 51, and I guess in tribute to both of those players, and he is the player of the week for the Atlantic Division, and that's the reason why. Now to the Central Division, Adam Blazek of the KW Titans. Here is the stat line of why he is. He has made 8 3-pointers in one game, and that, in all whole, broke a league record where the Titans dropped 25 threes. 25 or 50, but either way, they broke the record. Adam Blazek, as I mentioned at the beginning of the season, folks, a shifty defender, defies all mismatches. He takes matters in his own hands, and he's got great wide vision. One of the reasons why he is player of the week, I believe, but you know, he is one of the candidates if you have to go for MVP or a most improved player. For being in the Niagara River Lions last year, he had an assignment to back up Sammy Zaglinski into the 1-2 punch with Logan Stutz. Now he's on his own team. He's with Kitchener-Waterloo and they're in hunt of making their first berth to the NBL Canada playoffs, and they are on the right track with this shifty guard. We go back to here. 3-point game. This game has been close since the beginning. You've seen a high-scoring first quarter where both of these teams scored over 30 points. Do we expect to see that in the second half? Of course we do. Cape Breton Highlanders, London Lightning, two of the teams that averages 100 points a game, and it's no question that this contest will go close right down to the wire. How can it stay close? Well, they got to make sure everybody boxes out on rebounds. Royce White is about to get back into his groove, so let him play, but don't devour all the game plans on him. You go to the shifty guards. You got Kyle Johnson on one end. You got to let him play isolation so he can get close to the basket, so he enables Royce White to cut down to the basket, as well as Marcus Capers and Marvin Phillips when they get back to the game. If you're Cape Breton, continue that transition game because the London Lightning have yet to be set on transition defense, and they're doing a great job. Of course, Anthony Walker, a throwdown slam. We all know he's a big slam dunker when it comes to that. Whoa, baby. So expect everybody to be physical down the paint. Have the transition game and crank that sucker up to about 10. Crank it up to about 10 because you're going to see more transition games than you are about a slow-paced game because these guys aren't letting up. And that's the story, 67-64 in favor of the London Lightning. When we return, we have second half action for you. So tune in to Windsor, tune in to London. Like I said at the beginning, sit back, relax, and enjoy the Knockstrom Doublecade. We'll be back following this commercial timeout.
welcome, sports fans, back to London, Ontario. Wednesday night midweek game. John Van Halen and Chris Croucher calling this game between the first place overall best team in the league, London Lightning, and the surprisingly tonight Cape Breton Highlanders with, on paper, the worst record, but they are playing terrific basketball and shooting the lights out, Chris.
Yeah, it's been a pretty great start for the Cape Breton Highlanders in this game. We mentioned that the first half is going to be the one that's tough to keep up in. Now that they've survived that, it's going to be on London now to kind of bury Cape Breton if they can. And Cape Breton shooting, of course, 57% from the field, 53 from beyond the arc.
Wow.
They struggled to shoot from beyond the arc in that second quarter, though. They'll need to get that shot going. One guy to keep an eye on. He's going to be starting this quarter. Booker Woodfox. He did not play very much in that second quarter, but he's shooting the ball perfectly tonight, 4 for 4. And he's also, of course, their leading scorer. So he's going to be fresh in this quarter, and he might still have that hot hand going depending how it's been doing since he's been sitting. So keep an eye on him.
So some wise player management there by the coach, Ben Resner, keeping his leading scorer on the bench for a significant period of time while the rest of the teammates were hot. Sort of a nice idea. And again, we see it right from the opening tip-off, like in the first half. The alley-oop to Julian Boyd.
And Boyd's a guy who's been able to cut to the basket quite easily. As long as he doesn't settle for a shot, he actually could take advantage of this matchup he's got tonight.
Woodfox up top, like Doug Herring Jr. in front of him. Herring trying to keep him in front, going to the line, and nice job by Woodfox with the left hand over the back of his head, almost off the backboard. Good defense by Doug Herring, but better offense. So the same mismatch on the other end. And Herring, of course, has the advantage with the size. Puts it out to Julian Boyd. He's driving to the hoop. Kicks it out because he lost control. What's Marvin Phillips going to do? He's taking it to the hoop, which gets blocked that time, but I think it's still the right thing to do. I just hope he starts converting and doesn't get discouraged. Outside shot by wide open Billy Rush. And it's a tie ball game already.
And some sloppiness there. Woodfox almost got another opportunity to keep adding.
Doug Herring Jr. with a little floater, unable to convert. Cape Breton coming back. This is by Charles Mann Jr., who shot the ball very well in that first half, unable to convert his first attempt in the second half. Brian Anderson with the ball, sort of kept on the leash here a little bit by Cape Breton in that first half. Julian Boyd, of course, started off strong, unable to convert that three, way back out to Marvin Phillips. Brian Anderson, the number one three-point shooter, nobody on him from his sweet spot at the top of the key. He makes his three.
Yeah, Ryan Anderson, the last guy in a white jersey that you want to leave open beyond the arc.
Well, it's not a defensive battle tonight. We'll say that for tonight. Lots of offense. And a follow-up on a rebound by Billy Rush. He skied for that one, and nobody boxed him out. Not much defense so far from what I'm seeing. Garrett Williamson gets hammered that time by Woodfox. A good play by Williamson. He had quite a size differential on him underneath the basket. Didn't take long for Royce White to come back in the game. Who's he coming for? Marvin Phillips.
Yeah, I think London got a little bit tired of how easily Cape Breton was being able to get down to the middle there. And hopefully White can, even on the offensive end, provide a bit of an interior presence, space that floor out a bit so the three-point shooters can make a couple shots.
Well, Phillips has been coming off the bench most of the year for Royce White. That's been their substitution back and forth. So it's just vice versa tonight. Royce coming off the bench for Phillips. Here's a player that played very well in the first half. Chad Frazier drew at least 4 or 5 fouls from his opponent. Stumbles with the ball that time. Julian Boyd up top, but not a terrible lead pass. That time picked off by the much quicker Cape Breton Highlanders that time. And again, a little contest by Royce White makes a difference on that layup, even though Frazier should have made it. White, the nice control, and Williamson, I think it slipped out of his hand that time. Cape Breton trying to steady it here. Again, it's just Frazier nearly losing the ball that time. He did a better job of not turning it over so much in that second quarter as he did at first. That time he gets hammered, and a continuation for Charles Mann Jr.
And Charles Mann having a great game. With that basket, that's going to give him 18 on the game and a chance to make it 19 here. He's been the leading scorer for Cape Breton and this entire game, and he hasn't really had to force a lot of the offense himself. He's been able to generate a lot of it through the flow of play.
Well, that time he took the contact, made the basket, trying to convert to a 3. And he does. Tie ball game again, 74-74. So we have a competitive ball game, not necessarily a defensive ball game, but definitely a competitive ball game for sure. Each team trying to stop their other players' shooters. Boyd with the little pick and roll, the good weight that time and patience, waiting for the defensive man to lose his position. Boyd, he's been terrific inside this year, Julian Boyd has. Combined with his terrific three-point shooting, it really is a double threat, but he primarily starts inside and then goes out after. Long three-point attempt again. The long rebound comes from a long shot. Cape Breton picks it up. That ball stripped from Woodfox.
That's
I'm not sure that's going to be a technical foul. That's twice that Stellick has called. The referee, Rich Stellick, has called technical. He's taken no guff tonight.
That time it was Resner, who's been quite vocal about his displeasure with some of the calls, and that one enough to get Resner in some trouble there.
So Ryan Anderson to the foul line. Of course, we talked about Kyle Julius, the coach of London Lightning, before, how over the year we've seen him make terrific halftime adjustments. We'll see what pans out here in this third quarter for the London Lightning. So far, seems to be the same as the first half from both teams, other than the quick substitution with Royce White so far. Herring Jr. looks like he got bodied that time by no call, but he's not saying anything because he knows there'll be a technical. Ball alley-oop. 2 players going for it. Really no clear cut where the pass is going. Behind the back pass to Anderson for the three-point attempt. It's almost like a playground game at the moment. Here goes Woodfox to the easy slam for Billy Rush on the wing. No London players back in time. White hands it off to Anderson. He's willing to shoot from anywhere. Doesn't get the bounce that time. And Boyd gets the push-off foul, I believe, underneath, even though Cape Breton did get the rebound. Chad Frazier. Kyle Johnson in for Anderson. That's a quick hook. Here comes Criswell coming in off the bench for London as well. Some quick substitutions for London Lightning. He's coming in for Boyd. Sending a message, you think? Or just looking for a better combination?
I think he's just playing the matchups here.
And Frazier with the ball up top. He's played terrific. He throws it a little bit behind that time. Billy Rush tracks it down. He's got White on him. He pulls up for the jumper, unable to convert. White does box out and gets the rebound. Slowly brings the ball up to half court, into the corner. Wide open shot for Doug Herring. Good ball rotation, unable to convert. That was a good percentage shot, though. High, wide open. Into the corner it goes. Wide open shot for leading scorer in Cape Breton, unable to convert, was Woodfox. So 2 of the best shooters on each team, unable to hit the open looks. Criswell, is he going to take it to the hole? He is, and he's not able to hang on to it enough to put it off the backboard. We did the right thing, going to the hard to the hoop. Frazier with Williamson on him. Billy Rush staying outside, trying to keep the big guys away from the post. Charles Mann Jr. trying hard to take it to the hoop, and now the littlest guy in the court, Chad Frazier, comes with up through the rebound and puts it back in. Williamson going hard to the hoop, and avoids the contact.
Great body control,
from
too.
Lou Field, yeah, absolutely. Lou Field came charging hard, but that's a Euro step in midair, maybe, kind of idea. How's that? Like a, you know what I'm saying?
I'll work with it.
Okay. Again, no defense on the end. The basket counts. Looks like basket interference. The basket went in, ball went in anyway. Both teams scoring at will. We are at 80-79. We are halfway through the third quarter. What's the final score going to be, in the 140s?
Somewhere up there.
My goodness.
One interesting thing London's done so far, they had Williamson in there earlier, and now I believe Joel Friesen's probably going to be doing it, but to cover Chad Frazier, they've been going with someone bigger to see if they can get the steal, because we saw Frazier get some turnovers earlier.
And that time Joel Friesen takes a contact, puts it off the backboard, and is able to convert. Lightning back up by 1. It's a seesaw battle. Teams are, I don't know how many lead changes there are tonight, but probably well over a dozen, I'm sure.
Cape Breton just not going away. London's had a pretty effective quarter so far. And I probably just jinxed it, but with the missed shot there.
Yeah, absolutely. Cape Breton's going basket for basket with the highest scoring team in the league, which is London Lightning. I'm not sure if it's a good recipe for a win at the end. Might be going to be a high-scoring game so far anyway. Guess maybe it's the first team that either gets cold or starts playing defense. That's going to be an offensive foul. Good hard work by Garrett Williamson, moving his feet and staying in position.
Right now, I think London just trying to use size on the wings to kind of deter Cape Breton from getting to the rim. He's gone big here with Williamson, Johnson, Friesen as the backcourt.
Yeah, you're right. Kyle Johnson, he's the smallest player out there. Everybody else has got good size. Lufield's probably the biggest player, along with White just dances around Lufield, puts it up with one hand for a slam. That looked too easy. What a graceful play. Grace and power. Reach in that time by White.
And he gets a turnover from Fraser there.
And no foul call. I thought there should be a foul called, but there wasn't. The two near referees didn't see it, and it looks like the far referee did see it.
London's definitely getting a bit of wide eyes whenever Fraser has the ball, though. They're really looking for that
starting
opportunity.
to key on him, which I think is a good idea because he definitely has been generating a lot for his teammates.
Well, I was mentioning earlier when they were putting Williamson and then followed by Friesen on him, I think that's with an eye on generating some steals there. And again, turnovers have been a big problem for Cape Breton. They're up to 18 now.
Well, still a 3-point ball game. London up currently in this third quarter. Cape Breton hanging in. Can they do it for the whole game? That's the question. London just keeps coming at you with sub after sub after sub that can shoot and score and run.
You know, talking about the turnovers, I mentioned how Cape Breton could be up 10 if they hadn't had so many. Well, look at the points off turnovers, 22-12 for London. There's your 10 points right
10
there.
Point. Good observation, absolutely. Yeah, if the other team's converting on your turnovers, it's going to be costly. If the turnover creates a dead ball, that's a different thing. But if a turnover creates to an easy basket, then you're going to pay for that.
I mean, turning 18 turnovers into only 22 points isn't that much, but because it's been such a large number of turnovers, you could have had that number be even lower than that. It's not like London's turning these turnovers into a ton of points, but they're doing it often enough that it's been able to get them at least a slight lead here.
Okay. So we didn't really know what to expect tonight. We were doing our homework. Number one scoring team, worst defensive team on paper. But really, Cape Breton has come out with a good game plan, some hot shooting, and they're riding it right now. And it's not just one player, it's all of them. Shooters are shooting very well as a team.
And we talked that this might be a bit of a trap game, and that's the look it's having so far.
Well, there's not much familiarity between the two teams either, so London, I think, is also trying to figure out what have they got on their hands here, and Cape Breton surely showing their mettle tonight. Long ways to go yet. 5.5 minutes left in this third quarter. So Williamson up top with Friesen, looking to generate something underneath, and that's Criswell. He anticipated the contact, was unable to hold on to it. Cape Breton wrestling the rebound down, and this is Mann Jr. with the ball up top. Good ball movement into Fraser. He takes it right away, and he does convert another one. Their hot shooting still continuing from the three-point line. Well, London got what they wanted inside that time, just Criswell was unable to convert. Where are they going this time? Joel Friesen hangs up in the air, a little too strong. Kyle follows up with a rebound, and that time some offensive rebounding pays off for the London Lightning with Criswell with the putback. See if Fraser can bait Friesen into a foul here like he's done so many others tonight. Not sure what they're doing. Double screen here low for Cape Breton. This is Fraser now one-on-one with Johnson. Screen there by Lufield. Now Royce White on. Long three-point time. He's feeling it. Unable to convert. Criswell with the board and pushing the ball up. No real point guard on the floor for London. Kyle Johnson was hot. He made a long three. as he gets knocked down after the shot.
Yeah, I definitely tried to sell that one a bit there, but I think that might have been a good no call.
Ball inside. Nice dump play to Lufiel. Unable to react in time was White. Good play by Cape Breton. One of the rare times they've really gone inside. Friesen with the three-point attempt. Unable to convert. This is Jaron Skeet. No hesitation. Good double team underneath there to prevent that easy layup. Good hustle by London to come back in time. This is Skeet with the ball up top. Down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Looking for Billy Rush. He's isolated on a smaller player. Unable to convert. Shot over top of Kyle Johnson, but unable to convert. Royce White with his half-speed, fast break, I call it. That's Criswell, I think, just a little too aggressive on the offensive board. The ball hung up just a little too long, and he couldn't get to it. Good sportsmanship that time. Skeet from Cape Breton picking up Criswell. Another substitution in. This looks like Marcus Capers, who played well in the first half. A couple terrific dunks as well, but some good defensive plays. He comes in for Criswell. Not quite the size, but he certainly can leap with the best of them. Another look for Austin Witter on as well. The white headband, very noticeable on the floor for Cape Breton. Again, a lot of stuff flowing through Chad Frazier. He pulls up for a jumper, a little too strong that time. Good deep offensive board that time by Lufiel. He just muscles his way through two players, unable to put it off the backboard. He's going to the foul line. Well, a couple times inside now for Cape Breton, changing the pace up a little bit. I think that's a good sign for them to mix it up a bit. 88-85, 4-point lead for London, can be cut in half here by Lufiel. Misses the first. Not nearly as many fouls this quarter from what we can see on the board.
Yeah, definitely a lot less fouls even than last game, too, where there were quite a few.
Yes. Doug Herring back on. Royce White up top, where he quite often starts the offense. They're looking for Johnson to see if he's still hot. Herring unable to keep the ball in. No, he does keep it in. He hops over the player, swings it quickly to White in the corner. And again, a second attempt for Johnson. You're not going to miss that one, a shooter like his. That's got to be, his fourth or fifth three, I would think, tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be his fifth. All of his made shots are from beyond the arc, none of them from inside.
And most of them have been open looks as well. White playing defense. He gets it over top, does Lufiel. That's a good play. He used his own strength, overpowered White, which you don't see very often. Springer on the court, guarding Doug Herring. Herring taking a hoop, a little step back. Somebody behind him. Nearly a turnover. Capers down to 10 seconds on the shot clock again. Joel Friesen looking inside. He's going to take it to the hole, I think. Pops it back out for Doug Herring Jr. Unable to convert, but Friesen gets the offensive board. See Frazier sticking close to Kyle Johnson there when I'm looking on the floor. It's Frazier with a turnaround. Friesen, I should say, and a nice body control. Up to a 5-point lead for London Lightning. A minute 28 left in the third quarter. Nice pace of play here. Not too many whistles, not too many fouls. Tough play that time. Just sort of physically got inside that time, unable to convert. This is Capers into the corner. Johnson feeling it and bringing it back out. Wise move, waiting for his teammates. Marcus Caper with Springer on him. Friesen steps right into a three. Oh, and he makes it. He's so confident with that shot now, just stepping into the threes.
And just like that, London pulls ahead by a pretty good margin here. I'd say the first substantial lead of the game so far.
Yes, I agree. 8-point lead. Can evaporate quickly the way that both teams are shooting, but London on a roll the last 2 minutes. Friesen's shooting with a lot of confidence. We saw that in the one article that he gave to in the paper as well, that he's given sort of a green light by his coach, and he's trying to make sure he's making good choices when he shoots. So he says, I'm shooting with a lot more confidence. You could see it. He stepped right into that shot. Boom.
Well, he's definitely feeling the momentum. And it's something London needed someone to kind of step up and freelance, because the way they usually run their offense is they've got Royce White at the top, right at the very top of the key. That's where they usually set up their offense from, but Shadrach Lufiel has been right on White, not letting him even get that pass there. So if you're not going to be able to set up your offense the way you like, someone's kind of got to step up and freelance a bit, and Friesen did that perfectly on 2 straight possessions.
Well, he must feel the coach has a lot of confidence in him. That gives him confidence to shoot it as well. Like I said, he's getting close to 70 3-pointers on the year as well for the London Lightning. So 96-88, 8-point lead for the Lightning. The Breton Highlanders, our only look at them this year. So far what I see, I'm pretty impressed. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but if they do, I don't think they should be afraid of anybody. So, okay, Breton ball down on their end. This is Austin Witter. The headband, a little full court pressure here coming in. Doug Herring, I thought, was hanging on to Jaron Skeet that time, but no foul called. I like the way the refs have called this game. They let the game flow as much as they can. Ball swung in over top to Darren Scott. He played quite a bit in the first half. Great defense that time by White, pushing out Lufiel for that difficult hook shot. You're right, Lufiel is way out on Royce White, trying to deny him the ball up top. And that is sort of a spot that Wright likes to be in.
Well, with Lufiel, you actually have a big who's athletic enough to be able to go and get up close to White, and then if White gets the ball, able to retreat back quickly so that you aren't leaving the interior vulnerable to a cut.
Yeah, and he boxed him right out on that shot as well. No way for White to get an offensive board. Just Scott with the ball up top, being hounded by Friesen, now by Capers, trying to do the crossover dribble. Little fadeaway, tough shot. That's a la Larry Bird on the buzzer. He looked like a little Larry Bird shot there. That's a typical Larry Bird killer, dagger through the heart shot. The legend, Larry Bird.
I don't know about dagger through the heart.
Oh, no, that might have been a little over the top there, but definitely a great shot, especially with the clock going down. Really had to generate his own shot, push the defender deep into the hole, and then turn around, fade away. And then he shot the ball way back over his head like Larry Bird did. So that's why I called it. They had lots of hair, even though it wasn't blonde, we got lots of hair. So, I thought it was a good analogy. 96-90. So, okay, Breton hanging in for 3 quarters so far against the league leaders. League leading in record, league in assists, or in steals, league leading in scoring. But they are right there with them. Bit of a lower scoring now, it looks like quarter, I think. So 2 first quarters, first half was very high scoring. Slightly less this time, but still on pace, 30 points a quarter. We're still going to be in the 120s, I think.
Well, again, Cape Breton, one of those teams, they have games where their shooting's not on, and that's part of why their record's not there. But when they're on, they can shoot as well as anyone in this league, and we've seen the shooting show up tonight. And that's why they've been able to hang around with the London Lightning, but London finally getting a bit of a gap with that third quarter. Only a 3-point difference from that quarter, though. 29-26 was the scoring for London in that third. So, again, another pretty high-scoring quarter. Nothing's going to compare to that first quarter.
Yeah,
but,
I thought we were heading to the
going.
140s with that scoring in the first quarter. My goodness.
But the differential is almost identical. Just each team had 10 less points.
Yeah, a lot less fouls in that third quarter, so the play did go a little quicker, a little more flow to it. I'm still not seeing a whole lot of great defense by either team, really. There's been occasions here and there, some individual performances, but not a real lot of great team defense. That's been my sort of observation this game. It'll be Cape Breton ball at the first possession of this final quarter. See if the Highlanders can stick with the Lightning for the final 12 minutes of play. Again, Chad Fraser playing a lot of minutes tonight, going hard to the hoop. Puts it in the corner for Springer, but he doesn't take the shot. He gets the ball back with Kyle Johnson on him. He's going to give it to Clinton Springer down below with Doug Herring. He's got a little more strength on him. Here's another turnaround jumper, unable to convert. Kyle Johnson bringing the ball up. He's been shooting a hot hand in this last quarter. See if they're going to continue looking for him. Doug Herring brings it to the one side of the court. Friesen's also been shooting well. And that's a dead ringer. We're sitting right above him when we shot that. That was right on line. No hesitation. He has been a spark plug on a few games this year for that with that three-point particular. And then his terrific defense with a steal. Brooks White up top, where one of his favorite spots is to be. Kyle Johnson, he's going to take it. He wants to match it. Unable to convert that time. Really didn't have his feet set underneath him that time. Could have passed it back around and got set maybe. A quick three-point shooter, but it's gotten made. Sometimes you sort of hold your breath as a coach. No. Oh, good shot. That was by Austin Witter. But he had lots of time to line it up, so what I'm saying, not much pressure on the ball or on the shooter at the moment. He's Friesen a little too strong that time. Friesen unable to convert. That's knocked out by Kyle Johnson. I think that was a heat check.
Just a touch.
Yeah, that's a heat check. We call that a heat check. Every once in a while I had those, but not as often as some other players. Darren Scott with the ball up top. Williams inside to the big. Oh, Marcus Caper definitely outsized that time, but he out-jumped Lou Field, but Lou Field held his position. Good ball movement that time by Cape Breton. White going out, and Julian Boyd coming back in. So Shadrach Lufield to the line for two. We didn't see much interior play from Cape Breton in the first half, but they definitely gone to it more in the third quarter here, early in the fourth quarter as well, and making it pay. Unable to make it convert. Ooh, that's almost an over and back, I thought, by Joel Friesen. He's got the ball up top, a little more patience this time. The ball tipped again. That's 3 or 4 times where Cape Breton has tipped the ball on that easy lob pass, lazy lob pass, I would call it, and creates a turnover for London. Looking inside again to Lufield, they got Julian Boyd up top. Long three-point shot here. And a follow-through by none other than Clinton Springer coming from behind. We saw him do that many times at Carleton.
We've seen a lot of guys for the Cape Breton also come in late for those rebounds, so London not really doing a good job of keeping everyone out of there and making sure that they get the ball.
Watching the ball instead of watching where the man, and Julian Boyd, we know he has that weapon in his arsenal. Like I said, London has a lot of three-point threats. They really do. It's not just the big shooter Ryan Anderson or Joel Friesen. There's 6 or 7 guys that can legitimately shoot the three on any given night with regularity. Julian Boyd being one of them. Friel couldn't quite get his feet set again. Williams almost steals that rebound, which he is so terrific at. Johnson going hard to hold. Good body control and a reverse layup. Back up to a 9-point lead. London just keeps making those spurts. Cape Breton trying to respond each time, but each time it seems to be widening a little bit more. Chad Frazier with the dribble through, and that's no call. I think that's a great no call, to be honest with you. Doesn't able to make the basket. Great crossover dribble, and a great finish by Kyle Johnson. He definitely got the hot hand. He's going to be the top scorer, I think, for the London Lightning tonight. He keeps going like that. He must be well over 20 points by now. Or over 20 points.
Just a bit under.
No, he's got 20, doesn't he? He's made five threes. Oh, yeah, you told me he hadn't made any baskets underneath, but I got you now. I was thinking he had a couple baskets underneath. Okay, well, I'll take that back, right? Got a little too excited. Man's capable of scoring 50. You got to get excited, right?
Well, we're always on the watch for it now.
We are. Well, tonight it was one of those nights where we're wondering if he's going to go right off. So we are now up to an 11-point lead. Good timeout call by Cape Breton's coach, Ben Resner. See what kind of changes he makes in his approach.
again, for Cape Breton, they've been going inside a bunch lately, but it doesn't really seem to be working. I think they got to kind of go back to the perimeter game. It's what was working for them. Expect to see Booker Woodfox come back into the game around here.
Yeah, we haven't seen him play as many minutes as I thought we would tonight. I'm not sure if that's normal or how much playing time he usually gets, but I mean, he's very effective when he's on the floor, very efficient shooting. You'd think they might be featuring him a little bit more coming into this last part of this quarter of this game.
I think at this point when you're down 11, you just kind of got to go with your best lineup, go with your best scorers, and see if anyone can just try and shoot you back into it a bit here.
Well, like we said, the London Lightning have a lot of weapons. 8 players in double figures. Probably legitimately 7 players that can shoot threes on a regular basis. So that is hard to guard on a regular basis, night in, night out for the opposing team. And it's a great luxury for London if there's a couple shooters that are cold. There'll be a couple other ones that can come through like we saw tonight with Kyle Johnson and Julius and Joel Friesen. Ryan Anderson we haven't heard too much from tonight, and he's a leading three-point man.
Well, we have 6 players on the London Lightning in double digits already tonight, so that just kind of speaks to that depth. You got Kyle Johnson leading the way with 19, sure, but 16 Friesen, 12 from White, 11 from Boyd and Anderson each, and then 10 from Williamson. So the wing players really getting it done for London.
Okay, so we've got Johnson on the floor along with Anderson, Herring Jr. and Boyd, as well as Capers for Cape Breton. The aforementioned Booker Woodfox unable to make that jumper. Williams on the floor as well, along with Charles Mann Jr., Chad Frazier, who's played a ton of minutes tonight, and Austin Witter still playing quite a bit in his last few quarters. That was an alley-oop. Looked like Capers got held down by Woodfox. He got beat on the back end, and Woodfox had no choice but to hold the player down. So London ball, shot clock at 14. That play doesn't work out of bounds. Julian Boyd does take the 3, though, for the step back. A little bit out of his range, possibly. And unable to hold on the ball is Cape Breton. And Anderson pulls it back out for another set play. Johnson, he was ready to fire even before he had the ball, unable to convert. And he's been shooting it well. That might have been a dagger, Chris. Frazier takes the contact but unable to convert. Julian Boyd doing a good job keeping the smaller man in front of him. Anderson up top to Boyd. Boyd taking it to the hoop. A little bounce pass. I think he could have taken it all the way. The defender was late coming.
I think the defender read the pass. Jumped right in the way.
Or maybe want to stay out of the way of the freight train coming and call Julian Boyd. Either way, ball goes on. Yeah, absolutely. Ball still for London. It's a set play that could not be hung on to by Boyd. Boyd back on defense, trying to stop the offense. Cape Breton able to convert. Cuts the lead down to 9. Garrett Williamson back on, always a steadying influence for the London Lightning. They're looking for over-the-top pass. For Capers, unable to convert. Herring to the ball. Nice ball movement here, but we're down to 7 seconds. Anderson's going to have to take a three-pointer. Again, another turnover. He gets the ball in the corner. You're going to get it off before the shot clock. He does. And they get the offensive rebound, and Boyd, a little ball fake, and in it goes. A little fortunate that time by London, but they pursued the ball. Looks like Lou Fields coming back in. He wants some size back in the lineup, does Coach Ben Resner for Cape Breton. He's on the sidelines. Tough matchup tonight for Woodfox. Pretty well every defender he has on him is taller than him. That's a travel, I believe. Or no, it's a holding foul. Travel. No, it is called a travel, yes. Woodfox is struggling tonight because, like we said, the London guards are on average quite a bit taller than most of the point guards from the opposing teams that we've seen this year. Now, that's posed a problem for London sometimes, the quickness and the ball handling. Hard to keep the player in front of you, but tonight Woodfox has not really been able to get off his game other than a few moments where he was very efficient on his shooting, but he is struggling. Anderson follows through on a shot, but unable to convert. Here's, I think, the best player of the game so far, I think it's Frazier. Nice little dump pass into Lou Field. I think Frazier's really been the steadying star all night. We've had bursts from Charles Mann as well. But to me tonight, the best player for Cape Breton is Chad Frazier. Doug Herring up top, controlling the pace of the ball into Anderson. Boyd trying to post up his man. He got pushed way outside that time. Good defense by Lou Field. And Boyd beat him off the trap, off the dribble. He can, but looked like he was leaning all over him. No foul called. Woodfox into the corner, and Lou Field underneath. He's waiting for the players, unable to convert, and can't get it off the backboard. And Anderson leading control fast break here. Alley-oop to Capers. A little double dribble or a power dribble, unable to convert. And that time Williamson just hanging in there. He does all the little things so often for the London Lightning. Garrett Williamson.
Yeah, I think Capers might have had just a bit too much adrenaline going when he went for that layup there.
I think you're right.
Yeah, Williamson able to finish.
I really like Garrett Williamson's game. He just, whatever the night requires him, that's what he does. So sometimes he is the leading scorer. Not often had to be this year, but if he's the man that's got to guard the toughest opponent or bring the ball up or make that extra pass or get that gritty offensive rebound, he's the one doing the dirty work. Bit of a change in role for him from being really the main man for a lot of his career, right?
Yeah, in 2013-14 when he was the Canadian of the Year, he was the leading scorer for the team, and even in the playoffs last year, he was one of the leading scorers. So it's very much whatever the team needs of him, that's when he shows up.
Well, it helps to have good teammates around you as well that you can work with. But definitely when they need something out of him, he gives it to them. We feel a little too much dribbling that time and put the ball down where everybody can strip it from, and it was stripped. Anderson, nice interior pass. And the pace of play getting a little out of control for Cape Breton here. That's up to 13-point lead now with only 4.5 minutes to go. And an offensive charge. And who took that charge? None other than
Garrett Williamson.
Absolutely. What a momentum killer for Cape Breton, just trying to get back down the court as quick as they can, thinking they had some kind of fast break. And Williamson stops them in their tracks, literally. So Royce White back in the game. A little hesitation, pump, fake that time. White, I don't know how he kept track of that ball, but he got it in his hand and then got hammered going up for the shot.
Just goes to show, I don't think it matters where the ball is. Royce White's probably got a beat on it.
Absolutely. I was way behind his head. I have no idea how he grabbed it so quickly. So 12 points. Game, nope, 13-point game now. Time is running out for Cape Breton. They have played well. The scoring has slowed down a little bit in this quarter. But, still time left at 4.5 minutes nearly. Cape Bretons keep shooting like they did in the first quarter, but that would have been hard to sustain, 80%. Woodfox up top, trying to get his shot off, trying to create something for his teammates. A little handoff that time. That time he's wide open and nearly makes them pay, but unable to convert. They could have used that three to stop the London momentum. Herring setting up traffic along with Royce White, trying to see what they want to set up. Inside it goes. It's a tough matchup for Anthony Walker. Doug Herring, a green light up top for a three. Good rebound by Charles Mann Jr. He's been sort of quiet in the second half here. Was really terrific in the first half. London sort of got a little better handle on him. A little kiss off the backboard by Billy Rush. Love that name, Billy Rush.
Sounds like he was born to be a basketball player.
Yes.
Or at least a race car driver or something.
Oh, yeah, something like that, yes. Williamson underneath, unable to convert, gets his own rebound. He just sticks with it, tenacity, just recognizing that he had lots of size on Woodfox. And Woodfox just a little bit disgruntled that his teammates didn't come out to help him. Nice pass that time back door, unable to convert. A couple untimely misses that time by Cape Breton on the three-pointer and the inside that could have maybe kept this ball game a little bit closer. And White's going to the line with his slow motion fast break, I call it.
You know, Cape Breton did do a really great job of keeping up for a lot of this game, but I think the gas might have been slowly leaking a bit just finally hitting its low point here.
Well, it's hard to maintain that level of shooting in the first half. All credit to Cape Breton for coming off to a hot start, but yeah, you need to do some other things sometimes to keep the game close, and they kept it close to really up till I would say halfway through this fourth quarter. It was a very close game. Look on the score clock, and they're up by 16. And you're going, oh, London won easily, but that is by no means. That's a blocking foul. Royce White not set with his feet on the floor. Only one. That's only a second team foul for this quarter for London. Typically, they do a lot of fouls in the game.
Well, usually London, even in the early part of this half, they had a bunch of fouls early in the third, and they hit 6 fouls in the first quarter with almost 6 minutes left in that quarter.
Just nowhere for Woodfox to go. Good defense by London, reacting to him, keying on him. Again, tough shot for Billy Rush that time, fade away. Garrett Williamson to Royce White, and that time in the restricted area. Nice try by Charles Mann Jr. He saw that play developing, but he could not stay on top of that restricted area and gets called for the block. Oh, I don't think he's be able to shoot 2, but from what I'm seeing, it's going to be London ball at the end. Referees are checking with each other if that should be a shooting foul or not. I thought he had the ball in his hand going up for it on that pass, but maybe not. Maybe he didn't have control.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised it's not a shooting one either. I guess it did get stolen almost as soon as that contact happened, so.
Nice interior ball movement between Capers and Herring Jr. for Williamson, who gets rewarded from his teammate. There's Chad Frazier with the ball, trying to beat Royce White. Can he beat it? He draws the foul and the basket. He has had a terrific game tonight. How many points does that give for him?
No, that's going to give him 21 with a chance to make it 22 here for Chad Frazier.
Terrific play. 119-103. It's going to be tough to come back from 16 points with 2 minutes to go with the pace of the game and the efficiency that London's been scoring the last 4 or 5 minutes. But I'm pretty impressed what I saw from Cape Breton, to be honest with you. I did not know what to expect them. I only knew what I saw on the stats, and only had a brief glimpse of them for some highlights. So they got some good pieces here. And Garrett Williamson getting rewarded for his terrific play at the end of the game. A layup right to the basket, his teammates feeding him. So 121-103, so we're going to read in the paper maybe a 20-point win, but it doesn't feel like a 20-point win.
No, not at all. Well, again, the gap after 3 quarters was only 6, and it got even closer than that about halfway through this quarter, too. So Cape Breton has done everything they could. They had a really good game. It's just a little bit too much air has been let out of that balloon, and now it's starting to float away there.
Well, like we said, London has a lot of weapons. Different players have stepped up.
Speaking to the lot of weapons point,
yeah.
69 points from the bench for the London Lightning.
Wow, that's
69.
terrific.
That's a huge number.
Well, like we said, really of the 8 players in double figures, any one of them can really step up and become a leading scorer for their team on any given night. Joel Friesen gave an early spark halfway through that second half with 3 3-pointers nearly in a row. We saw Kyle Johnson get hot for a streak. He carried him, and then Garrett Williamson carrying him through here to the end. Doing on both ends of the floor, offensive rebounding as well as taking the charge. What are the scores out of town tonight, Chris?
Right now, with about a minute left, Niagara up 108-102 over the Windsor Express. And the St. John Riptide beat the Orangeville A's 107-97.
Okay. Well, what are there, about 10 games left in the season, I think?
Just about, depending on the team.
Yep,
that Niagara one's interesting because Niagara are currently last in the Central, trying to fight their way back into a playoff spot.
Woodfox with a shot from outside, unable to convert. Looks like it's going to be maybe a double foul on the end there between Johnson and Billy Rush. Yeah, so about 10 games left in the schedule. London comfortably in first place, of course, here out.
Clinched the division already.
Yeah, trying to nail down home court throughout the playoffs so they can end up with a better record than the leading team from out east. Right now they have everything going in their favor that way. They do have an East Coast trip to make, so there'll be some interesting results coming from that road trip to see if that swings the balance.
Apparently a tech just went to Booker Woodfox. I'm not sure why.
Me neither. There was a double foul on 2 players down at the end of the court, and then somewhere in here, Woodfox must have said something that the referees did not agree with. That's about the 4th technical foul tonight that we've seen.
3 on the Highlanders. Saw 1 on bench, 1 on Woodfox, and Woodfox is out of the game now.
Yeah, another technical again. I'm not sure why. I didn't see anything happening away from the ball that would cause that. I think he's just very unhappy with the way the game has gone, and has, other than a brief spurt, has not been able to contribute to the Cape Breton's offense. But anyway, he is out of the game. So another free throw.
Yeah, Woodfox didn't make a single shot in that entire second half.
Yes,
he was perfect 5 for 5 in the first half.
Yeah, that's what you had said. He was shooting very efficiently, but not much sniff in the second half. Looks like that's probably one of Coach Julius's big halftime adjustments. Make sure he doesn't get off in the second half to help Cape Breton as keep close in the game. They've done it very effective. Mind you, some other players have picked it up, i.e. Chad Frazier. And again, referees are trying to keep a lid on things. I don't really see that the game is that physical, but
there was some chippiness there between Anderson and Springer on the inside there. That's what the ref's calling on that one.
You think it was chippiness or just jostling for position?
They were just jostling, but it was a little bit rougher than I think a ref might like, and especially after they just had to kick someone out for being a little heated.
All right. Trying to nip it in the bud. Nice 3-pointer by Chad Frazier. Definitely my man of the match if you're doing soccer for the Cape Breton Highlanders. Royce White again, just slow motion, totally under control. He's going a lot faster than you think he is, but he doesn't look like he is. And he's going to the foul line again. Just a great ball control by the big center for London.
He's so poised when he makes those cuts to the rim too.
He really does. He's just under control. Terrific ball control.
You see arms sort of flailing. You see a little bit of chaos around him, and then there's just one smooth white jersey going right to the basket.
That's exactly what my impression was. Very good. So London with a big win last week against Windsor without Royce White and, of course, Junior Cadogan, of course, who hasn't played tonight. And another win in the belt for the London Lightning. That'll be win number 9, I believe, in a row on this win streak. Scott Darren back on the floor, playing the last minute. This will be Chad Frazier again for the 3-point. A little off target that time. Good box out that time by Marvin Singleton. Our first look at him tonight. That time makes a liar of us, does Royce White. Turns the ball over. And Singleton not giving up an easy layup for the few minutes that he's playing. He's not giving anything up. Doesn't matter what the score is.
I'm not going to lie. At the start of the game, I was going to maybe say this could be a Marvin Singleton game because he was shooting the ball very well in the warm-up there. I was coming in thinking he might be a little sleeper pick here.
Well, like we said, Cape Breton kept it really close probably till midway through the fourth quarter. And then some of their shots started missing, and London really turned it on for a stretch of 2 or 3 minutes to open up that 11, 13-point gap. And that's really been the difference in the game. It's going to be ending up probably close to a 20-point lead, but I would say all in all, a very competitive game tonight. Single with the ball with Clinton Williams on him. Waits, easy off the backboard, nice smooth touch. I see what you're saying. He was able to generate his own shot that time. Scott with the ball up top. Gary Williamson still on the floor for London. And able to convert. They were making those ones early in the first half, but not here late in the second half. tired legs, a little better defense maybe. White again, just waiting patiently. It goes up and over. Down to the last 30 seconds, last couple possessions of the ball game. Scott with a dribble, crossover dribble, I think for the final basket probably for Cape Breton tonight. 15 seconds left on the score clock. London will just dribble out the ball and gives London players give a warm hand to the fans coming out. Fans give them lots of applause for really a hard-fought battle tonight for the most part. The last 5 minutes notwithstanding, 129-109, 20-point win. But like I said, it didn't feel like a 20-point win, and it really wasn't 20 points until the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I thought Cape Breton came in here and did everything you need to do to have a chance to beat London, and they did get themselves that chance. They worked very hard. They had it close right up to the end until about halfway through that fourth quarter, and that's when London had almost the light switch come back on. Looked like Cape Breton maybe the wear and tear of travel started to hit them a little bit at the end of the game there. And unfortunately, they weren't able to maintain that momentum they had throughout the game. But again, I thought Cape Breton did a lot of the things that you want to see a team do well if they're going to come in here and give London a fight.
Okay, so final score 129-109, London Lightning over the Cape Breton Highlanders. I'm John Van Holling along with Chris Croucher. It was a pleasure to call this game tonight. We look forward to our next broadcast here from the Budweiser Gardens in London, Ontario next Wednesday. So long, sports fans.
Fans, once again, your London Lightning, thank you for attending tonight's game. A reminder, your Lightning will return to home next Wednesday, April 12th. That's a 7 o'clock start. We'll be playing host and visiting St. John's Riptide. Once again, Wednesday, April 12th.
20-point victory for the London Lightning, 129-109. They get it done in the second half. They clicked on all cylinders and finished the job right here. We wrap up this game right here with the Knockstrom post game, and of course, all you guys know this for watching us. Okay. So, the London Lightning, like I said, clicked on all cylinders. The Highlanders tried all they can. They used speed to continue with the Lightning trend. That's how they kept up with the London Lightning, but it was everybody that did their part at the end of the day. London Lightning shooting exactly 50% from the field. The three-point game wasn't as generous as it would usually be for the London Lightning. They shot 35%, and the Highlanders shot 41%. And Royce White came back, scored a double-double, 20 points, 12 rebounds, so pinned the game ball to him. Chad Frazier, man, oh man, give him the credit. Chad Frazier, 24 points in his name. But here's the stat that is going to amaze everybody, and this is why the Lightning came back. It was mostly the bench scoring. The bench scored 76 points compared to the Highlanders' 36. So that did it for the London Lightning. They now move up to 27-4, and the Highlanders, they lose 6 of their last 8. London Lightning win 9 in a row. Okay, let's go out of town for the more scores right here. Now on Knockstrom.tv, you have seen a finish from the Windsor Express side. They won that game. If the DAC stats are right, they have won it, and if that's the case, regardless of who won or lose between that game, every time the River Lions play against the Windsor Express, it's going to be a close, dramatic finish, especially at the WFCU Center. And the Windsor Express, if they did win, this was a win they needed the most because this all relies on consistency for them. You lose Nick Evans, now you fill in the void. DeAndre Thomas, he had a tremendous game, no question about it, but this game wasn't the case for him. He finished off with 8 points and 6 rebounds. So close of a double-double, but did not get it. But Juan Patillo gave him the game ball. Another double-double for him, 28 points 10 rebounds on the other hand. Kirk Williams Jr. was 2 rebounds away from a double-double. He finishes off with 24 points and 8 rebounds. So you've seen it here first on Knockstrom.tv. And I just received word that the Windsor Express did win. And like I said, it was a win they needed the most. The River Lions, they're trying to fight for the last playoff spot. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. 112-109 was the final for the Windsor Express game. And the final score over at the Institute, the Riptide win by 10, 107-97. And it was a big game for them. They needed that the most. As you see Flash going out there, they call that lightning in the bottle. But boy howdy, that's what you get when you are in the Forest City. Gabe Freeman finishes off with 24 points. Rick Bodiford, he has a great game for him, 18 points. But the double-double machine, Anthony Harris, with 12 points and 10 rebounds. So you got to give Orangeville credit. They have a tough team. They have a team that is built on depth. But in some cases, they were unable to finish it off, as per the case tonight. Okay, that does it for the Knockstrom Doublecade right here. We thank all of you for watching. The next time you'll see us 3 days from now, Saturday night, back at the WFCU Center with the old gang. And the return of, once again, Chris Commons as the St. John Riptide play against the Windsor Express. Next time we're here in London, next Wednesday against, well, isn't this hard to believe, the St. John Riptide. So you're going to see Chris Commons twice in a matter of days. So expect a big game from them. St. John, of course, is second place in the Atlantic Division, so it's going to be a tight contest, number 2 playing against number 2 from their respective divisions. So we'll see all you Saturday. And again, thank you for everybody, especially the crew in Windsor, from the crew right here at Budweiser Gardens. Till then, behave yourselves, okay? Once again, the final score, 129-109, London Lightning do it justice. This has been a presentation of Knockstrom Digital Media, producing the media excellence in Southern Ontario. For everybody here, this be Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Forest City.